Okay, so the other day, Bryan and I were looking at some TikToks, and there's this very specific lane of TikTok that Bryan and I noticed that there is, in my opinion, way too much of.
There's a lot of lanes on TikTok. There's too much of.
There's a lot of lanes on TikTok that there is way too much of, but there's this particular lane which kind of runs parallel to what we do that Bryan and I came upon.
See, this is where we, like, Tiller and I were kind of debating it. Like, I'm kind of pro this lane of TikTok. Tiller was kind of like against it. But that's why we want you to help decide, Jer, if this is a lane that should exist or not.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. So Jer, we're wondering how you feel about this lane on TikTok.
Dr. Edzimmerman, the Dick Doc on TikTok.
When the song come on, let me see you get gone.
Get gone.
Baby mamas, this your song. Been
He was big and strong in his
Talking about the differences between a grower and a shower.
bitch. Let me see you shake that ass.
I don't understand. How the fuck do you get a job and fuck up everything?
What's up, buddy?
You say working 312s is too easy? Come do it then, Bryan. Come do it.
That one was for you, bro.
Come work 312s in a row.
No, I put that. So I put that last one in. I put that last one in for Bryan because Bryan, for whatever reason, has been a really outspoken critic of like nurses in general. Like he's just like really anti-nurse.
I've never met anyone that hated nurses more than Bryan.
So
well,
like
it's
I
just, like I could probably exercise for 12 hours straight, and like, what are they doing? Really just sitting around doing nothing?
Yeah, just fucking twiddle-dee-dee, twiddle-dee-dum.
Right.
Am I right, Bryan? That's
Yeah,
what you said to me.
Maybe trying to poke a couple veins or whatever, but usually
Yeah.
they miss too. They're not even that good at what they do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
So besides
stay out of this
besides Bryan being anti-nurse, which is a very weird lane in and of itself, like where do you sit
All right,
in terms of like
yeah.
docs and nurses and medical professionals, like creating TikToks on the job when they are at work?
I'm just
and
saying,
doing these like comedy skits at work.
I just want to add, Taylor, I think you made my job pretty easy for me because like how difficult does that nurse job look when they're just fucking making TikToks the whole time?
Wow.
My God.
Brian's doubling down on the anti-nurse theme.
I think Louise was a nurse, and this is probably why she hates our show. You know what? Okay. First initial reaction was like,
Also, there's thousands of those.
oh yeah, I bet. Oh, I bet.
Millions even.
So my first reaction, I'm going to give my first reaction, and then I'm going to give you the reaction that I had after thinking about it for 1 minute, which is the most I'll think about anything,
Dude,
and then move on.
That's the greatest content reaction you can
Perfect.
get.
That's
Here we
what
go.
you say. I've given it a deep thought.
A deep thought of 45 seconds. Here I go. First initial reaction is like, whoa, how many people got fired from
Right?
this shit?
Yeah, right.
Then I had a thought, well, most of those seemed like fireable TikToks, except for the Dick Doc. That guy actually, I feel, is like, that guy's putting out some like shit that
He's
would
big.
be.
He's big on TikTok.
Well, I fucking bet you the Dick Doc is
yeah.
big. And also be very careful Googling Dick Doc.
Yeah, you definitely
You want to make sure you know what you're
you
going for
definitely
there.
definitely want to brace yourself
Yeah.
before you click.
But like, that guy's out there putting, it seemed, I mean, I only caught a glimpse of what he has there, but it seems like he's putting out some very interesting medical information about the male member, which like, that's cool. I like that. But then like the one that stuck out to me where I went, whoa, was Buddy pushing the morgue or pushing the body to the morgue and doing like the dance. I was like, holy shit. But you know what? I got to say this.
Guess where that camera was propped up when he was filming that too?
On a bed.
He GoPro'd
the guy's
he
legs.
GoPro'd it to the dead guy's stiff dick.
Okay, so there wasn't actually a
He had
person on that bed.
a mount on the guy's dick.
If there was a human on that bed, that is bad, and I'm not here for. But I think that obviously he had his phone just set up on an empty bed, or he maybe had a nurse that was probably fucking doing nothing, sit on the bed, and hold the camera. But here's my thought. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. I think it's great because one reason I think it's great is that out of all the nurses and physicians and medics and researchers, all the people that we've spoken to over the years, whether it be on the podcast or in conferences, one of the big things that we have heard is like, this is a fucking exhausting job. It's really tough. You need to find ways to like create levity especially in that type of workplace, which can be like highly stressful, which can be, pretty like sometimes really demoralizing. And so like, there is something to be said for finding a way to have fun while you're at work. Now, it's pure like total speculation as to whether or not these people are doing this like on their break or if they're fucking off big time and like someone's going into it like code blue and they're like, whoopsie, I didn't get there in time to bring them back to life because I was making a TikTok.
Let me get this talk first.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on that one and say that I'm sure that most of these that are being made on a schedule where it's like, I'm going to like take fucking 15, 20 minutes and like make a quick funny video to lighten up the space, to lighten up the mood where you work, to like show people that here's another big part that I think I really like about it is like to show people that, hey, the hospital doesn't have to be this like sad fucking shitty space to be in. Because everybody hates going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because you're just like a lot of people hate going to the dentist because you associate it with like pain and you associate it with negativity. You associate it with sadness.
And now you're thinking, if I go to the hospital, like I might be able to be a part of a really great talk that goes viral. Now, I would generally agree with you. I agree with you. Like making things light and taking time in a generally like really dark environment, at least from our perspective. I know that medics, I mean, we've all seen Scrubs. We all know it's a very funny place to work.
Yeah.
But,
Grey's Anatomy.
But so devil's advocate, which is like a small slice for me, but I think I generally agree positive most of the time, is like in the bogged up medical system where it seems like everything grinds to a halt when like a small stick of hay gets thrown into the mix and like no one knows what to fucking do because it's so overwhelmed with patients and needing to grind on. Is that like then like, hey, but there's like, we've got some time. We got some time to make some talks.
I will say this too, on a personal note, and this is all anecdotal, but like,
it's giving content to us too. So like,
totally. Yeah.
Come on.
And on top of that, like we have a lot of people in our personal life that work in hospitals. Our friend Andrew's an RT. My ex-girlfriend Becca was a nurse.
We should send it to Andrew and see what he's.
We should
see his thoughts.
But like, talking to them and knowing their, okay, I don't want to like throw Andrew under the bus or anything, but I've spoken to Andrew. He works at the fucking ICU as a respiratory therapist sometimes in the OR as a respiratory therapist. And like, I remember, there was one time where. I'm so sorry, Andrew. I probably shouldn't say
his name's Jason.
We've been using a fake name the entire time.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
His alias is Andrew.
So I remember
Jason.
I remember one night it was like midnight, 12:30. We were at my place watching UFC. There was a really big fight, and Andrew was like, I can't come over and watch the fights with you guys because I'm in the OR. And during like a crazy knockout, I get a text from Andrew being like, "Did you see, like, fucking." Whoever get their fucking dome crunched. And I was like, aren't you in the OR? Like, what does fucking work look like for you? And I think work for people like this, although yes, like we know that the hospital can be a very high intense workplace. There's also a fuckload of downtime. It's like that notion of like,
until you got to go. Like,
it's like hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait.
For me, though,
wait.
there's two big things in this for me. One was I thought of Science Sam, the science communicator.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, like what better? Like Nahid Dasani was on TikTok for a long time.
Yeah.
And like, I just think of the importance of communicating. Stop eating dirt, dog.
Yeah, now you see where I'm coming from.
And like it really, think about the demographic that's on TikTok. Like, what better demographic to reach out to than like young kids who are going to like come up and the biggest opportunity to change society is is through educating kids, because if you can change their perspectives, they're
Yeah.
the future leaders of the world. But
Yeah, and I found that there was a lot of that in the one with the nurse who's sitting there, and it's like gotta get that ass, ho, gotta get that ass, and I was like, man,
So-
like that's
so
the
I
young
was
generation that really needs to like.
So-
Yo,
So
that one,
that-
that one too was also very. I was like, holy
but
shit.
so I think there's also two types of those doc talk TikToks, and the first one is the ones that are just like definitely not science communicating TikToks, and they're just made for fun. But the second thing that I was gonna say is that it also humanizes medical professionals,
Yeah,
and like
which we have a there's a big problem with that.
Right.
We have a big problem with people forgetting that these people are human.
Yeah.
Right. And so
There's-
like we look at doctors and we look at nurses and we put them on this pedestal, or we have an expectation of them that is not reachable because of their profession. We it's like we look at them the way that I used to look at my dad when I was 6.
yeah,
You know where I go,
Yeah.
you have all the
Analogy.
answers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know that
Analogy.
I'm safe with you and you can do no wrong and you're a perfect human.
There's
And
Until
then
they do.
until they fuck up. And then you go, wait a minute.
You're
What the
just-
fuck happened?
You're just like me.
You're just like
there's
me.
this
Yeah.
there's this really funny TikTok of a nurse that she's shot it as if she's like coming out to like her like walkout music, like she's in the UFC, and she's like putting her finger up in the air, like celebrating it, and the captions read like just a nurse with 7 years experience coming out to miss another vein in a super healthy adult individual. And it's super funny.
And
Yo,
But
like,
actually,
but,
though,
but
yeah.
like, and like you might look at
You
that
make
initially
mistakes.
and go, oh, what? As if that person's advertising the fact that they're like fucking up their job. Like they're supposed to be a professional. But like I look at that and I go, hey, like, you know, that probably think about how many nurses and healthcare professionals there are that probably feel like they have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like they're not worthy of doing their
Yeah.
job. And like that just makes them go, oh, okay, you know, like
We're
I'm
human.
not alone in
Yeah.
this. We're all human.
We're
and
human,
then,
we
and
make
then you've
mistakes.
got someone like Bryan who's then taking those opportunities to go on his own Instagram and post and tag those nurses and go, look, another one fucking something up and
Yeah.
just like ruining someone's
Yeah.
healthcare, which is really crazy. So-
I'm not a fan of the mixed messaging.
I
that I'm
know
getting
it
here
seemed
today.
there for a second like I actually cared about
No,
nurses,
you hate
but
them. So that's what we think about this lane of TikToks on TikTok. You know, I will say we love the TikTok on TikTok. He's a fan favorite. But what do you all think of this lane on TikTok? We want to know what you think. So let us know and like fire it down in the comments and make it spicy. Like, you know, if someone disagrees with you in the comments,
Dox
like
them.
really make sure that you vehemently
Dox them.
disagree with them no matter what they say, even if they make a really fair point. You don't want
Let's-
to give up any ground.
Let's get really big into canceling each other in the comments.
yeah,
all right?
yeah. Cancellation
and,
in the
uh,
comments is highly favored. So
and
keep
cancel
going.
me because I hate
Yeah,
nurses.
yeah, right.
Oh wow, he even said it.
Great.
He said it.
I'm just kidding. I love nurses.
explicitly.
All right.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for watching, and you know all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, follow, all the things that you can do on social media to make sure that we're slipping and sliding into your algorithm.
Sheesh.
Shit.